Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Chris, and today you can see it's a little bit of a new location. I'm actually on location with another small business owner who's been running their business for coming on 6 years, and we're gonna do some interview, walk through their shop, and figure out how they managed to make their business work for their family. Hey, what's going on?
What is up, my guy?
Nice seeing you. Before we dive in too far, I just want to say thanks to everybody who follows along the channel. Today's video is quite a bit different, being over at Anthony's house and checking out his business. And there's two main sections to this. The first, we're just going to walk through, ask some questions, ask about his background a little bit, and kind of just get to see his shop and how he does things. The second half is actually going to be about like a 40-minute sit down, him and I talking outside on his couches with a good cup of coffee. It's actually some really interesting business insight and getting to learn more about him and his business. If this is the type of content you like, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Thanks to my Patreon members. And not only that, this is my first time doing an on location and actually recording a video with anybody else ever. So if you guys have any feedback of things I could improve on for this type of content moving forward, please let me know. I don't have anything queued up yet, but I think it'd be cool to do more types of this content so you can get a better picture of other people running their businesses, not just me. But anyway, let's dive back in and let's hear what Anthony has to say. This guy reached out to me 6 months ago or so.
Yeah.
And little did he know, I was actually stalking his channel like maybe 3 or so years ago on YouTube when he was a bit more active, and kind of getting some inspiration for how to start my business. And at the time, you were in your basement,
I was
right?
in the basement, yeah.
Of your house.
Yep. And we kind of outgrew that. My kids really wanted some space to play. This was just an empty room. When we bought the house, there was a hot tub in here, so it was just kind of a gutted room at the time. And I was like, man, I got to get out of the basement. And there's no room for a CNC in the basement.
Gotcha. So when I started watching you, you were doing an Etsy shop, and you had a lot more stuff on there that was focused around like train models and also resin printing, and then a couple glow forges. So from there, like growing out, I see some of that equipment doesn't even exist here anymore. So like what led you into starting that business for yourself? And then why haven't you continued doing the same thing?
Doing the same things, starting our business, obviously, 6 years ago was COVID. Everybody was sitting at home. And we just had a new baby girl. And I was like, I really want to be home. Like the government was paying us to stay home. I really love that. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to do this. So that's the point that I started selling on eBay. I was like it was probably $700 in 1 week. And that just kind of unlocked a key for me to just, oh my gosh, I could make this work. And then, as far as like the niches that I took, and I'm sure that you said the same thing, we just kind of threw a bunch of crap at the wall to see what would stick.
I'm still throwing crap at the wall, by the way, for everyone who watches.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of stuff stuck. So the beginning of our business, I really wanted to just do that and then eventually figure out like what niche to go down, like what road do I need to travel down. And it was all making money, so I just kept it all. And the model train stuff was really easy, and it's probably a lot easier now with AI modeling and stuff.
Sure.
But it was just customer requests. Customers would be like, hey, could you make this? Could you make this? And I had a lot of resin prints, so that's kind of like a niche that I took. But it just kind of slowly faded away. I was sick of creating things for like $4 or $5, and I wanted to dedicate some time elsewhere.
Sure.
So I'm not saying that like I'm chasing the money, but I'm chasing the money.
Okay, which makes sense, because like as somebody who needs to be making some money as a business owner, you need to think about those things. Now, what I think is interesting now, and I had no context of his space. This is not my first time here. What's cool is seeing how like the shop has grown, and you have a lot of bamboo printers.
I do.
Which I think you've talked about moving away from a bit, but then why'd the resin disappear? And like, what were you using for your resin printers?
I just bought what was on sale. I think we used the Elegoo Mars printers, and just like you could see like on the floor later under that box, there's just resin spilled everywhere.
This is the spots? Like, did you move it out here?
I had quite a few resin printers here, and then it's messy. I don't like it. It just like was gross.
Okay.
But And the demand, I mean, the resin kind of came a long way since then, but a lot of stuff would just break. And it's like people
gotcha.
want like really small things, and when you ship it to them and it shows up broken, it's like that you just get burnt out
Sure.
with replacements all the time.
All right, so let's take a tour of the shop. I'd love to know kind of where or how many square footage your space was, because my square footage was 75 square feet when I started before I expanded into the bigger part of my basement. So you've got one room here, which I'm sure we'll come back to, but let's walk down in there.
Yeah.
Tell me about where your business has grown into, what that square footage looks like, and then kind of what do the machines do, and where are you moving with the business?
You had mentioned that we were in our basement before. I think that was like a 20 by 20 room, you know, with some furniture in there. Now we're in the garage. This space is 13 by 21, which is a little awkward size, but it fits most of our things. So right here, we just have our laser engraver, laser cutter. This is the Omtech 100 watt. It's a 20 by 28 bed, and we use this for laser cutting thinner acrylics. And then anything thicker, we use our CNC router. This is a 4x8 ZenBot. This is the newer model with the aluminum frame. We have a really good spindle on there, and we use this for cutting thicker acrylics, like I said, and like wood, crafty things that my wife wants me to cut, like shelves and things like that.
So I know for my perspective, the CNC machines have generally been a woodworking tool in my mind, but you're cutting acrylic with it.
Yeah.
First off, two questions. How do you do that? Is it different than woodworking? And then number two is, like, what do you end up using the acrylic for?
Yeah, so you're not wrong. Woodworking, for sure. I do have a background in CNC where I would cut like aluminum at the sign shop. And I would actually cut 1/2 inch acrylic there too, which maybe that's why I have one of these now, just having that background. But yeah, we cut basically just shapes. We do little pockets here and there, but it's a little easier than 3D printing, to be honest. You just basically, you know, make a shape and then tell it, hey, you want to cut that. As far as like wood to acrylic, woods, I would probably take in less passes, like depths of cut, and acrylic, I cut a little slower and do more.
But relatively the same tooling?
Yeah, there's a different router bit that I have. This is a compression bit that's specifically made for wood, so there's not any like tear out. As far as acrylics, you would use like an O flute, which is one of these.
Okay.
So just a little different.
Okay, cool. And then, so I know we've talked about it a lot, but for all of you, transitioning from basement, completely new machines at this point. Well, maybe not new now. You've been doing this for a few years.
There's no machine in here that was in our basement.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So with that means the product sets and stuff have changed too. So what was the justification for the machines, and where's the business moving that these have been necessary?
Yeah. So like I said, I came from like a signage background.
Okay.
So I didn't want to just make signs because that would be a little weird. But I did see like people were cutting shapes for different various things, and I was like, well, I could cut like 1/2 inch. Maybe that'd be more beneficial to the customer. So that kind of just took off, and then we don't really 3D print much anymore.
Okay.
Outside of like some things that we stock on Amazon. A lot of, and it's weird because our business is called 3D Prints, but we don't do we don't do much of that anymore.
Yeah.
Most of our stuff comes off of the router or the laser cutter. But like I said, we're not getting out of 3D printing. I'll keep them, but we're kind of subbing some things out.
He's subbing some stuff to me if you're
curious.
Yes,
I am. Yes.
So give me an example of like a good product that might be something that comes off one of these machines.
Yeah. Actually, this is a good example of 1/2 inch acrylic, and we did a slot here. It's going to hold this bent acrylic, and the way our business is going right now is the product display niche. So this is kind of just the start of one. I'll probably paint the bottom so it has like a nice underglow and put some little feet on there. But the customer basically is just going to take this, put a sheet of paper in there or a photo or something nice of their product. They'll slip that in there, and then they'll just...
Gotcha. So, this is, if you guys can see that, that's not just a piece of acrylic. It's actually bent over, which is its whole own process that I'm not familiar with. But cool. So you're going into the product display space for like what types of customers are you looking for? B2C or B2B or what's that?
Ideally, business to business.
Okay.
Just the way that, like I said, the way that things are going. The past, our customers have just kind of basically told us what they want, like what our business should be, and I just kind of put it off because I really wanted to be like doing my own thing. I wanted to come up with new products, and I still can, but realistically, business to business would be good. I don't really know any like consumers that are going to want a product display necessarily.
That makes
but
sense. Yeah.
That being said, there's a lot of collectibles and stuff that people collect that could be on like a nice little display. So I'm not going to just cut out business to consumer right away, but
Sure.
the way that our business is going to be structured, or the way that I want it to be, I'd say business to business would be ideal. I want those bulk orders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So like in terms of like the last few months or this year so far, like what percent would you say is like your B2B business compared to B2C?
I honestly, because I look back at all of the repeat customers that I in Etsy Analytics is kind of cool for that. But looking back, I think all of the customers that I've had, if they would have told me like this is what I'm doing, it would have made more sense to just get them off of the Etsy platform and just deal with them directly, because a lot of people will buy like 10 or 15 circles, and then later I find out that they're like a cake decorator and they're using those all the time, and I could have sold them something different. That
Gotcha. So like they're using Etsy as like a test to trial run your products almost?
I think so, but a lot of them will stay on the platform because they're comfortable with that.
Gotcha.
But it's like, obviously I want to save the fees and stuff and build relationships rather than just be like the Etsy guy.
So next question I have is, for me, buying stuff like a CNC machine, one, space is a problem because I'm in my basement. It's not safe to do it there. But then you also have like the capital expenditure of buying this stuff. At what point did you say, okay, it makes sense to buy a machine? Was it like I have customers ready to go, or was it that you just decided to take the jump, invest in yourself, and say, I'm going to get a customer now that I have it?
Yeah, I think that I have an addictive personality where I just want cool machines. And I saw a commercial for the Glowforge laser, and I was like, I want that. And then I realized I could make money with that. And then I eventually had to buy two because the demand was there. And then now we have the Omtech, which that just knocks both Glowforges out of the
What
water.
was the most expensive machine in the shop?
Oh, geez. I would say probably the ZenBot.
Okay.
Yeah, I did get it used, but they're expensive.
I know in my shop I'm constantly working on processes, which you guys see all the time, but like what's kind of your workflow? And I know you've talked to me about you're rearranging some of this
all the
space in
time.
here, but what's your current workflow? And then like, what are the areas that you're like, I need to improve? And how much time do you spend on doing that?
I need to be, so like I always tell people like I am the worst employee, but I also have to be the boss.
Okay.
So I tried to separate those. At the end of the day, at the end of each day, I look ahead on orders, and then I will write them down on my whiteboard, and I'll just sketch it, and I'll be like, I need to do this, this, and this as kind of like the owner, and then or the boss, and then I'll come in the morning and I'll be like, okay, the boss said that I have to do this. Just staying on task, I think, is probably something that I struggle with, just with my brain. That's kind of why I'm excited for this next year to just laser focus down on helping other businesses like present their products in a way that will sell better. But yeah, I print off the labels, I write them down here, and then I'll just kind of come and erase it as I go. You can see over here, there's a bunch of paint and crap on the wall. Like, I know everybody really wants like a sexy business and like they want it to look good. But realistically, I really want to paint the shop. I really want to get this going. I have some windows here that need to be replaced because in the wintertime, this is not effective at all. But it doesn't have to be that way because honestly, it's not going to make money to paint the wall. And there's not customers coming in daily that are going to be impressed by that. I mean, behind this banner on the wall, there's just a really crappy boarded up window that I'm hiding. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people have commented on like my TikTok account, and they're like, I love it that you just have like scraps sitting on the floor and like it's just, you're real. But yeah, it's just like, I'm here to make money, not to just look cool. And I think that's probably why I haven't done a lot on YouTube.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And I kind of knew some of this coming into it because when we were talking, and even when I came down to visit, or just the fact that when I started watching your channel, you were like, "I'm in my basement," and I'm like, "Now that we're talking, I'm in my basement." I think there is. I'm gonna get all philosophical, guys, but I feel like there definitely is like a push to feel like you need to be presenting something special as a business owner, but like even like the Apples of the world started in a dusty garage, and that's kind of where things all start. And it's more about like finding those opportunities, and the opportunities that you're finding are like vastly different than the opportunities I'm finding, which is super cool and encouraging to see what could be even possible out there. Because again, I've talked about it before, but it's not always about 3D printing.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like you're saying, like, I feel like you don't, sometimes I wish I was still in the basement, to be honest. Like this space, like heating it and cooling it is a pain in the butt. Like the basement, it was just safe and nice. But I'm trying to convince because it's like you have good years, hopefully. And it's like, oh, we got some money. Now we can like upgrade this space. And it's like, I want to protect that. Like I'm trying not to spend a lot of money on the space and things that don't matter. Obviously, if we have a hole in a window, we got to replace that. But just making a window just for the heck of it, it's like it doesn't add value to the business, and it adds value to my house. But realistically, who wants a shop this size? If they're just buying a single family house.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So yeah, protecting your profits. I think when you have like cool shelves and stuff, you want to like add like a glass door or something that looks
or
cool.
the LED light
or
strip
LED,
underneath, and then change color.
Yeah, it's like that. That's cool. That's if you're making money on YouTube with that, that's fine. But realistically, like I would love to just have one 3D printer in the basement still and just cranking out money, because it's like I fell into that trap. I bought so many Ender 3 printers just to look cool, and they were on sale. And I used them for one big run, and that was it.
All right, it's time for the interview portion. Not interview, but we thought it would be interesting just to kind of like just chat about business in general. He made me a delicious cup of coffee. It's a latte this time, so breaking the mold. But what I think would be interesting is to talk about some of the realities of starting a business, because I think, especially on YouTube, it can be easy to get a wrong perception of what it's like to start a business. So over the past like 6 years, what have been the ups and what have been the downs, I guess? We can start there and then just see where the conversation takes.
Yeah, I think like nobody really, even we were just talking earlier about Facebook posts. It's like nobody's going to post like the terrible times. Nobody's going to post like, hey, I'm crying in the bathroom because we don't have any sales today, or for months. But maybe they do just for clicks. But yeah, there's definitely been ups and downs. Mostly just in sales volumes, trying to figure things out. Really nailing down like a niche, I feel like has been my thing. Trying to find like an identity in our business, and like what do we do? I've written countless mission statements that none of them are true anymore. Just things evolve. And I've always been kind of open-minded to see where our business is going to go. So I'm not like, this is what we're doing now, and this is only what we're doing, because a lot of those things that I don't want to do are paying the bills.
Okay.
So I have an idea of where I want my business to be, but I have to take it slow now, because like I said, I don't want to just like, oh, we're not doing this, and then we're not making money. Because some of the things like our Amazon shop, I don't really hawk it so much anymore for like income, but it's like I'll know when it's not making money and when it's not viable anymore. So
like the biggest concerns are obviously just like, are you one of the people who like looks at your sales dailies and stresses out by it, or are you a weekly or like a monthly?
I was definitely a hourly person.
Okay, that was not one of the options I chose.
Starting out, like when I knew that, like before I wanted to quit my job, I would sit at my job and I would have spreadsheets open, and I'd be like, I need to make this amount of money in order to walk away from my job.
Okay.
That number was way off from realistic numbers.
Was it higher or lower?
It was higher because there was a lot of unknown things, like for instance, like insurance. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to pay $1,500 a month for insurance.
So, okay, I think maybe I'm the one misunderstanding. So you're saying the numbers that your Excel sheet, the reality of what it actually cost was even higher than what your Excel sheet had? Or
The reality was I didn't think I needed to make that much money, and realistically, I didn't. I just kind of like overestimated on things because like taxes, it's like, well, I didn't think about write-offs. First of all, I didn't think about like, buying equipment. I didn't think about the taxes. I just was like, this is what I'm making at my job. I need to be able to make this much to take home the same amount, and it was just way off. So I pay myself a lot less than what I need to, but just kind of the way our business is structured, that it's fine.
Gotcha. So something interesting, I'm going to butt in here. Taxes, I'm going to say, I think I said it in my last video, but I can confirm that if you set aside 30% of everything you make into a savings account for taxes, you'll be perfectly set for the end of the year taxes, and then you'll have a big payout at the end.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. It's first year I actually did that. Every other year I've ever had to pay taxes on business stuff, I've always owed the government. This is my first refund in 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's funny
something.
because you just uploaded a short talking about that. So
Yes.
I texted you.
Nobody watched it.
Oh, really? I texted
Nobody
you.
cares about taxes.
I think maybe it was a video. I was like, hey, what's a book? Like, what's a book that I could listen to? And I picked up that one you were talking
Profit
about.
First?
Yep.
Yeah,
Profit First.
fantastic book.
Yep.
Yeah, I have like 2 must-have books now. Okay, so taxes, overestimating. What led you to then jump? Like, was it hitting those goals, or was it faith that you could do it, or was it?
Kind of a mixture of both. I think when I actually quit my job, I was making probably about 80% of what I thought that I needed.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah, and I was just overworking myself. I would. Some of you guys know, like, I had gone from full time to like part time, which helped out in the business to like kind of ease out.
How'd you navigate that?
I don't know.
Did you? I mean, you asked for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
did you change jobs?
Nope. So
Okay.
well, kind of. So for context, I worked for my uncle at the sign shop for 8 years. And I don't want to brag, but like I was the best at everything that I went through.
Okay.
So it's like when you're the best in your field or the best at your job, and I've seen this happen a lot. My friend was the best like call center person at the heating and cooling company or whatever. When you make requests like that, I think that the company will like panic and be like, I have to concede to these requests or like compromise somewhere. Otherwise, this person is just going to bail. So I think that it was kind of a smooth transition. And I know that I don't want to call him a mentor, but I would say that my uncle kind of pushed me into that. He's like, I feel like I'm doing you a disservice by keeping you here. Like, I think that you could do better in your own thing. You got to go away, buddy.
Also, part of being, I have friends now who are dad and business owners, which is fantastic. But yes, okay. So your uncle was pushing you into.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like an easy, gradual thing. It wasn't just like we're not making any money, because I didn't want to leave we had a new baby girl. I didn't want to just like jump ship and then have no income, because my wife was a stay-at-home mom. I think she was working part-time at the coffee shop at the time, but that wasn't like substantial money. But
So what was the most important piece to jump? Was it the finances, or was it something else?
I think it was just the encouragement of the people in my life. I remember we were going for a walk one time in a nice sunny afternoon, and was just trying to convince my wife, and she just like stops walking and she's like, just do it already. And that was like the moment that I was like, okay, I have the full support of my wife, and maybe I always did, she just never vocalized it. I think that was one of the biggest fears, was just like, what are people gonna think? Like, what is my wife gonna think? What is my father-in-law gonna say? Which he's super supportive too, but I think just knowing that I could do it was enough, like to be able to push myself. And realistically, I was pretty young at the time. It was 6 years ago. It's like, if I mess up, I just got to get
How old
another
are
job.
you, for context?
Yeah, I'm 36.
So old.
So old. What? You're like 34 or something, right?
No, I'm
30?
going to be, oh gosh.
20?
Hold on. No, I'm not 12. Yeah, my 20-year-old
20.
face. 32. Am I going to be 33?
Sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Something interesting too, the week that I left my job, sales had doubled, like overnight.
The week?
Yeah, the same week. Like, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
It just like
What
was
platforms were
crazy.
you on? Was it just...
At the time, I was selling on eBay and Etsy. I'd say it was split 50-50 versus income.
Okay.
So yeah, I was making about 50% of our income on eBay, which I really disliked eBay, just the platform.
I don't think eBay's changed since 2005.
No.
To be honest.
Yeah.
It still looks like a slightly better version of Windows 98.
Yeah. I liked their sales platform because it would like show you like on the dashboard. It was just kind of clean, but it needed a little more help. I don't know if you can run ads on eBay.
I think you can run ads on eBay now. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so you had support from people, you had sales, definitely two big factors. Something that, and maybe you contribute this, but you have a YouTube channel, I obviously have a YouTube channel, and something I think is interesting is, like, I started in the 75 square foot workshop. You've obviously grown into a much bigger space, but it is, I think people need to understand, or I've always tried to convey, that you can be in a really small area and then grow as your business grows. I think both of us are in the Midwest, obviously. You guys maybe don't know that, but it is, quote, affordable around here compared to like the California or New York or I don't know about maybe Florida and stuff, to actually have a little bit more space to have like a shed to like do stuff in. Like, how necessary is the space? And like, if you were to start again, would you like be able to start in a small space, or would you?
If I were to start again, I would just put a closet in my house somewhere. I mean, I would try to keep it as minimal as possible because, like I mentioned earlier, it's just like those. You can get a deposit from Etsy for like $1,200, and then that quickly goes away, very quickly, because it's like, oh, I need this thing, I need this, and it's like those are just false things. Like, set an alarm, dude. Like in the middle of the night, get up and swap a print or something. Work overtime at a laser. I think I would try to keep it as small as possible. Like, you can make a ton of money with just one printer, and I think that's, I don't know, it's kind of unbelievable, but realistically, like, I use probably 2 printers a week right now.
Okay.
But I am subbing it out to you.
Yeah. I don't mind the business.
Yeah.
It is interesting though, because like I'm gonna plug myself. If you guys need any work too, I am doing obviously contract work and subbing stuff out. But like, you've shifted your business where it doesn't make sense to do the 3D printing anymore. I've like doubled down on the 3D printing side, and that's like all I do. So I mean, I have some. I'm sure it would go both ways though. Like, potentially, unless you get your display stuff really takes off.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense for you to do any like weird miscellaneous jobs.
No, and that's what's kind of nice too. It's like with the business to business, we just landed a large, I'll say, contract with a place in Texas, and it's like there's a lot of zeros on that amount of money, and I'm like, okay, if I could get like 10 of those, I would be happy. Like, that could just replace everything that we have now, and I could just like turn off my Etsy shop. Like, there's a lot of crap that I have on Etsy that I don't really even want to make anymore, but people are buying it, so it's like I have to.
Got it. Okay.
So I'd rather have just like a handful, or I don't know, 30 different customers that I can just revolve around and just be like, hey, this is what we have new, this is what is working for this other customer. But yeah, things shift for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's talk about the best part about being a business owner.
The best part about being a business owner?
Yeah.
My daughter woke up in the middle of the night last night, and I didn't fall asleep till like 5 a.m.
Okay.
So I slept in till like 9 this morning.
Nice. Okay. That's not even that late.
Yeah.
But
just the freedom to do whatever I want. You know, we thought about putting our kids into a private school, and I was like, I don't want to have to be somewhere. I don't want to have to drop them off somewhere. We're going to keep doing homeschool because this is the lifestyle that we want. I can walk in and see my kids at any moment. I can see them playing in the park and just walk out. If something's cutting on the laser, or obviously 3D printing, you can walk away from it pretty easily. It's just like, I'm going to walk over there, push the kids on the swing, and that's the whole reason that I started my business, was because of my family.
okay. Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Same with me. Okay, what's the worst part?
Not getting sales.
Okay, I can confirm with that too.
No, and yeah, I think we could probably chat about this. I had an idea of just making a video about just like the things, the unknown. Some of the things that kind of hit me was, I kind of miss talking to people at work, and you and Joe Martinson, we chat almost every day, and it's like that's good. So I'm kind of a people person, which is kind of weird. I'd say I'm a shy extrovert, which I don't know if that's even
No,
possible.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I love my family, but I'd like to have conversations outside of myself in the shop.
Sure. And I don't know. I'm putting my foot in my mouth, but I'm sure my wife doesn't want to hear me always talk about business.
Yeah. And that's great too, and that's kind of why I started doing TikTok videos and YouTube, because it's like, hey, I have this idea, or like I'm going through this, or I have this product that's doing well or whatever. And yeah, it's like my wife doesn't care. She knows when we're doing bad, like with sales, because she'll be like, oh, we didn't do very good today. And I'm like, why do you say that? She's like, you're biting your lip or something. And I'm like, dude.
Or you're not you're not walking into the house going, here's how much money you made today.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely, she can tell. And like, I don't know, as a man, you don't really need to be putting a bunch of stress on your wife.
Even if it's good stuff. I know for me, it's always like just talking my wife's ear off about like new product idea, or this could be done, or here's the things I got to do, or like, it's not even so much for me like exactly the sales portion. It's just like me regurgitating all of my thoughts that I've had about like what I want to do and what I am doing. And she's like, yo, I already have my own job. I'm already like up here taking care of our daughter when you're downstairs doing your videos and stuff.
It's hard because
let's just hang. And I'm like, yeah. Like last night was the first night that her and I just like hung out. Baby was asleep, and then we played some video games together, and that was a blast. And then our daughter woke up and she had to go, so we'll have to continue tonight. But that's like, first time, it feels like in forever, which is cool. So yeah, having like community, the loneliness piece.
Yeah.
And it's not just like community, anybody either. I should probably ask my wife about this. If you're listening, can you please put in the description or in the comments what book I'm referring to, because you told me about it, is some famous author talked about connecting with people in your circle.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of noise and distraction, but you should only listen to those who are actively doing the same things you are. So in this case, like when it comes to what to do with my business, I'm over here asking you, I'm asking Joe, I'm asking some other people I chat with who are also running, they're business owners, and they're also running businesses where they design the products. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3D printing, but something in the same vein, because you guys are the only ones who can actually understand my questions and give me an answer that has the context of experience, not just like understanding what's going on.
To add to that, like I love that, because it's like you can find and this could be with anything, like just personality wise too, but just like find somebody a step ahead and a step behind, because it's like you can help people behind you, and that actually helps you in looking ahead. Like I really liked Joe's stuff, and it's like he's helped me a lot. One of our largest contracts came through Joe because he didn't want to do it, and it's like it's just a circle of like goodness. And yeah, they understand your questions, they understand like your personality, because there's variations within that entrepreneurial lifestyle, but I feel like we all kind of have the same like drive and like personality wise when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. And for those, Joe Martinson is the one we're talking about. He has a YouTube channel as well. I also stalked him years ago. I didn't stalk him. He just has a YouTube channel. But like, I would watch both your guys' channels, and then it's funny now that I like hang out with these people. That's a little creepy.
That is weird too, because like I watched Joe's first video and I was like, this guy's making me mad. How is he making money with a 3D printer? And then I watched all these videos and I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. I sent him an email, just kind of like you, and I was just like, hey, I got some questions, bro.
So you were the bridge between all of these relationships. I guess so.
Yeah.
But I'll put his thing in the description if you want to check out both channels. you can do that. But his business is like way bigger.
Yeah, he's on another
We
level
are
now.
small fish. He is up here.
Yeah.
I think he talked about it. He did like over $1 million in
Yeah.
sales
Yeah, yeah.
on one of his last videos. He talked about it. You should check out his stuff and listen though. He's got some great like long form.
And he has employees. That's pretty impressive.
And he has employees who help manage everything. And
I think a shop manager, which is just incredible.
yeah,
Like, I can't imagine that. It's like,
no, I'm over here thinking, how can I make sure I don't have employees and scale my business? And he's over here like, who else can I hire to do this? Like a completely different level of existence. One day maybe to get there. But okay, so we got the loneliness piece. Now I would say, I know a lot of people always ask me like how to get started. What would you say is your favorite platform, or like what are the 3 like bare bones that you need to get like going doing something?
I get that question a lot on TikTok, and I've been saying like, if you want to start a business, especially like 3D printing, I would start by like just making a Facebook account for your business.
Okay.
Don't name it something 3D print thing, because people are going to see that and it's just going to be like devalued into like a child with a printer. And that's kind of why we're going to change our name soon, because I cringe every time I think about it. But start a Facebook page. What's worked for me is I offer like services for free. This has helped out a ton, because if somebody comes to you with a problem, A, that's a problem. It's not just some gimmicky thing like a dragon or something. B, like if you offer it for free, they're gonna give you something in return anyways, just for being a nice guy. And then you're learning how to do CAD software by recreating that thing or fulfilling their request. And then if it's good enough, if it's a good enough product, I mean, it's your file. You could produce that and sell it on another platform.
So you're saying like do a job for free off of someone else's problem and idea, and then turn around and resell that online to other people?
Yeah, so for example, there's a college over here that has like a little window cover or something. I could probably get the part, but it's a school, it's a government school, so we can charge a premium. We're fixing their problem. They don't make that part anymore. It was super easy to do the CAD file. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, what window is this for specifically? And I'm probably going to list it on Amazon, and you're going to fulfill it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody's reached out to me, there's probably countless other people that have the same issue that haven't reached out.
Got it. So I deleted my Facebook 8 years ago, and have refused to get one, which sounds like maybe is a bad idea at this point. So how would you actually use Facebook to, like, are you posting on community things,
so I would post on like a community forum, like we have like a Plainwell Otsego Township area group that I posted on in the past. And now honestly, like I don't really do that much anymore because we have other things going on. But if I were to start out, I'd probably do that. As far as platforms, yeah, I mean, Etsy's good, but just know that if you're buying files to sell like a commercial license, there's going to be hundreds of other people doing the same thing. So I know you preach this, just like, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's just you're going to have like abundant competition with an identical product. Not,
That really...
I personally don't think changing the filament color or the bed type is a differentiating factor.
Yeah, that really hit me. We went to a craft fair, I told you, with the kids. There was like a little kids section of crafts. My daughter sewed some like cloth bookmarks. And I was like, oh, cool. So she sat up there and I walked around. There was 8 different tables of 3D printed stuff, and they all had the same exact things out of like 15 sellers.
Out of 15 sellers?
Out of 15 sellers.
Okay.
So I'm like, this isn't sustainable. Like, this isn't good. It's a way too much work to go to different things than what you're making.
I would say that I feel a little bad for the people who had those tables, because they probably like, I know, like I'm signed up for the farmer's market for some of my own products, my magnet shop.
Yep.
But like, I'd be really bummed out if I showed up and like had identical products to other people. That'd actually be kind of a bummer. I'd feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I can feel for them a little bit in that way.
I get asked a lot, like, what software I use, which is like...
For what? I mean, you have so many machines.
Like, yeah, what software do you use? And usually it's around 3D printing. Most of the people that follow me because of 3D printing. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like CAD software or like Slicer, or what do you mean? Because I know like with the Bamboo Labs most people use their software or Orca Slicer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're asking like $10 questions. Like you should be asking like $100,000 questions. Like, what do you think I should be making? Like, is this a good product? You know, thinking about like bigger picture things than just software. Because it's like you use plasticity.
Yep.
I use Fusion 360.
Yep.
I mean, if we were to go head to head at designing something, I think it would probably both come out at the same time. Because you're good with plasticity, I'm good with Fusion.
100%. Yeah.
I tried plasticity. I couldn't even make a coaster. But it's like, just do what you're comfortable with.
Yes, it is do what you're comfortable
Yeah.
with. Yeah, and the other, I don't know, do you modify your machines much, or do you just like buy the machine that fits the need?
My CNC router has googly eyes on it.
Good. Okay,
That's it.
that's cool.
That's the only modification.
I could put googly eyes on
Yeah.
all my printers.
That was a big
Yeah.
thing, like back in the Ender 3 days. It's like print this like fan that has like a thing on it, and it goes faster. It's better. It's just like stock everything. It doesn't. I don't know.
Right. Okay. So I know there's a lot of people who always ask me like, what upgrades do I need to have, or like even like the automation stuff on the printers. I'm still experimenting with that,
Yeah.
but like I really struggle because the printers at the end of the day are not made for it. And you have to design the part in a specific way
Yeah.
so it can be used. Like you can properly eject the parts. And I know there's bed changers, but like it just takes less time just to pull the print off manually.
I see those like million printer farms, and I'm like, there's like 3 people running around there all the time. It's like, even with the bed changers, you gotta put a new bed in the thing for it to change. So it's like, why not just swap it out? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just like it's one of those like side quests in business where
Yeah.
you like, you know, is that actually going to make you money? Now, if there was a scenario like I had, if there was a scenario where I have to print like 50,000 of a unit, then it might justify setting up automation because I can print 50,000. But like, I was doing some research, and this was like a year and a half ago, and from what I saw, rough estimates are like you don't expect to sell more than like 500 to like 1,000 individual units of a product before its life cycle's over. Like that's the average.
That's funny that you say that, because I've heard that before, and I was looking back at some products. I'm like, that's 100% true.
Right. Which, if that's the scenario that you should like plan for, number one, you need to be constantly designing new products.
Yep.
And then number two is like, is it worth setting up all that automation to print off 500 units?
We had a job 2 summers ago with the like brick thing, and we had, I don't know, it was 10 or 20,000 pieces. And I had gone on vacation, so I asked my buddy to come over and swap prints out. He would just do it in the morning after work, and then he would come over at night. So 3 print cycles. And I don't know how many we were doing per day, but guess what? They're injection molding those now. So it's like, why? I don't know. If
And that's also true.
If your part's that good, and if it can't be made with, let's be realistic, there's a lot of parts that could be injection molded with like a 5-piece mold or whatever. If it's that good, I mean, get it injection molded.
Yeah, what's the cutoff point between going from 3D print up to injection mold?
I mean, it depends on what it is realistically, but if you're running like 40,000 parts a year, I mean, come on.
And maybe just injection mold it, yeah. I guess the only way you could argue against that is if the part had some type of complexity that could only be made.
Yep.
on a
And
3D
too,
printer.
like, it's like those hose adapters.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe has a mold for that somewhere.
Oh, gotcha.
He was going to injection mold those, but I don't know, he never did.
Sure.
And it depends on the money too. It's like if you're printing something and it costs you $10 and you're selling it for 15, don't spend 10 grand on a mold.
Sure. Yeah. So what about pricing? How do you price your products? Is it just by feel, or do you have and this goes for like all your stuff, not just, 3D printed.
I usually, if it's laser cut or CNC routed, I usually just play it safe, and I'll do a 4X on the material costs. So it's like if the acrylic costs $100, I'm going to sell it for 400.
Okay.
That just pays for the material and taxes and blah, blah, blah. But then if it's like a value to the customer, like, I don't know how to say that. It's like, I don't want to sell something to somebody that's 25 cents when I could sell it for $10.
True.
So there's
Yeah.
there's like a value-based pricing in there too. And if I'm spending a lot on like post-processing or something, then I'll add a little bit more. I don't
Okay.
sit there with like a spreadsheet or anything. I did make that quote software, but honestly, I'm just gonna turn the key on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess another question in that same vein then is, as like a single or solo entrepreneur, how much do you factor labor into your calculations? Because I always hear the debate of like, do you add labor? Do you just price it out and see if the labor, like the
Yeah.
profit's good enough for your time? Or
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but I've been doing this for a while. So it's like I kind of know like how long something's going to take and like if it's worth it. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. You know, if it's
Okay.
just some like custom square thing.
But you don't have like a specific number that you put into the calculation for labor.
For labor? No, not usually. For like larger jobs, like we have a job coming up for like 8,000 parts. They haven't wrote the check yet, but I calculated it. I'm like 40 hours just to peel plastic off of the acrylic before I bend it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to pay somebody to do that. So if it fits in the total, that's fine. But if it's like, okay, that's cutting it pretty close, I'll probably stay up late and peel some plastic.
Okay.
So I do like to think, would I pay somebody to do this? And is it worth it for me to pay somebody to do that? Perfect example, the stuff that you're doing for me. It's like, I'll take half profit so I don't have to do it.
Sure.
I would rather do something else.
Sure.
You can't do that like with your whole business, obviously. Otherwise, you're going to be losing a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess for context, so you guys know, it's like you have stuff on Amazon that needs to be restocked,
Yeah.
but your entire business is moving away from 3D printing,
Yeah.
but you still have products that sell decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're outsourcing the production to me, shipping it back to you, or in this case, dropping it off, and then you're getting that over to Amazon. So I'm doing a lot of the, not grunt work, but we'll say grunt work.
The labor.
The labor to get that
Yeah.
stuff over to you so you can at least maintain those sales. Yeah, so I guess if like you were explicitly a designer, this would be no different than, I don't know if you've read the like 4-Hour Work Week, where he like, Tim Ferriss set up that, protein powder or whatever, very different, but then everything was outsourced.
Yeah. But
And he said on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're kind of, I mean, if I were to start over and launch that way, it's like, that's perfect. That's fine. That's easy to scale. But now that I'm doing some production, I can't just halt that and just design things now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I could come up with new ideas here and there and like design something and be like, hey, could you just make this, or could you just run with this? But yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Just like a different business model to think about.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Probably would have been the way to go.
Yeah, most of the cost is definitely in like fulfillment. I was talking with some people I know who are in like supply chain and logistics, and they were saying like, because they've interfaced with so many different types of businesses and so many different industries, like your cost comes down to manufacturing. Obviously labor is all part of this, but like manufacturing is one piece of it. Then you have fulfillment is another piece of it. And then there's like pretty strict contracts around that of like timelines for when stuff, how long stuff takes to produce, then how long it takes to ship out the door. And if you want things expedited, it generally costs more.
Way
and
more.
like it costs like a good amount of money, and most of the money for like most businesses doesn't actually go to them. I don't know offhand what your profit margins for like general businesses and retail are, but it's like, isn't it like 20 or 30%?
Yeah, that was mind blowing too, because it's like there's been a lot of jobs where I've spent like 80 cents on plastic per part and sold thousands of parts.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm making like, I don't know, 2,800% off of that. And it all just goes to me because I don't have all those like facets of manufacturing. But then at the same time, it's like we do the coffee thing, we sell coffee. And it's like, we're only making 30% profit. And apparently that's pretty decent.
For the industry?
Yeah, in the industry. And I'm like, wow, like this blows my mind. If I'm not making like at least 4 times of my material costs, I'm like, it's not worth it to me.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Unless it's by volume, obviously.
Unless it's by volume.
Yeah.
But then you really have to hone in and like,
That's when I'm going to start calculating people's labor, like labor and stuff,
Yeah.
like a contractor or something.
Yeah, for me, like the trick is like kind of long-term goal. It would be to find like have one or two products that really do well and pop off, where then I could be like, okay, I need a plan for like 10,000 units of this and like do a big production run, hire some help to get that out the door, and like I don't know, that's long-term goal to have that. But for the meantime, it's going to be more products, more production for other people.
What I think is crazy too, and I think you're like, I don't know, maybe you could hint, like talk about that, but I think you're at like a crossroads between like a hybrid, like I'm going to make my own thing, and fulfillment. And that's kind of where I was. And it's like the fulfillment sustains the business, and then like your other ideas, like that's hard, like coming up with new ideas, because it's like you could spend weeks like tweaking something and then list it, and it's just like nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's happening right now with a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of discouraging, but to just keep doing that, and then by the time you have like the fourth or fifth thing, that other thing is finally getting some traction, because we're Americans and we want it now. It's like just because I've listed something on Etsy and sold it in the same day doesn't mean that always happens. Like some things sit on the Etsy shop for like a year before anything happens. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better about several of my products.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Now that we both do YouTube, it is weird because like YouTube is its own business. It really is. Like the amount of time it takes to like do that it's hard. It takes away from the other stuff, production or whatever. But I kind of see like I feel like I have to design my own products.
Yeah.
And one, because I like it. It's very like fulfilling for me to do that. It's cool seeing like an idea come to life. But the other piece of it is like that keeps me in the know about the technologies and tools and more opportunities, how to start and make a business, which then I can speak to and share with other people online, which is cool, which is what this channel is kind of documenting. But then on the other side of the business with the fulfillment stuff and doing like B2B production runs for people, like I could see that growing because it is growing that way. And then eventually hiring for people to like kind of manage that side of the business as I do product design and like YouTube and still sell my own products. And then basically I would end up using my own manufacturing facilities as like a subcontractor, not really, but like sub out my own designs to them to then have fulfilled by.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
What is interesting too is like, I know you've done sales. It's like, I can't imagine what my business would be like if I actually had a salesperson. Like I haven't spent like any money on advertising outside of like Etsy once in a while. I'll turn the Etsy ads on. I'm like, how am I at home right now with my own business this far with little marketing effort? Yeah. So it would be really cool to have a salesperson, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if they would know my products as well. So I don't know. It's just, there's so many roads to take, because it's like you could focus on business to business and not do your own stuff, and you could make a killing. Or you could just focus on your own stuff and then you can make a killing. Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. Something I think we should talk about is always be selling. Would you also agree that the most important thing in business is like constantly be selling? Like you have to be selling constantly. You have to be a salesman. Yes. There is no such thing as being an entrepreneur who's not also a salesman.
Yeah. And it's really hard too, because a lot of people that like 3D printing, let's face it, they're not really super outgoing all the time. Sure. Or like, we all kind of have like a nerdy side to us.
Oh yeah.
And not in an offensive way, but it's like getting outside of yourself is a little, like I made some cold calls a couple weeks ago. I told you about it. Yep. Wow. That sucks.
Like, how many yeses and how many no's?
I had, let's say, okay, one day I had 4 no's and 1 yes. 1 maybe. They didn't even buy anything. Okay. They said, just call back. And I'm like, okay. Then I called back and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to hold off for now because our budget, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, do that. Honestly, the rejection therapy guy on YouTube or whatever, he's got it down, dude. Like, do that all the time. Sure. Because yeah, you get, we were just talking about how many views you get and how many like visits you get versus how many people actually buy something. Yeah. So your conversion rate on your Etsy shop is about 3%. Mine, which is not great on my Etsy shop, is anywhere from like 1 to 2%. And for context, when I was in marketing in corporate,
we would expect generally around the 3% was kind of the standard for website conversion rates. So what that means for those of you who don't know, you have to drive 100 people to see your website or your shop or your listing, and then only 3 people buy. And that doesn't, and then you can go back from that. If you're sending ads out to people randomly, and this is a very high level, what I'm saying, because there's more nuance to it. But if you like billboards, right? When you drive down the highway, there are digital equivalents of billboards called display ads. The conversion rate from somebody seeing one of those ads online to clicking on it and going to your website. Want to guess the percentage?
1%?
0.02%.
Oh, no.
0.02%.
That's so bad. Man.
Like,
so you would need like 20 billion people.
No, okay,
no, I'm just
about
kidding.
20 billion. I'm not doing the math in my head, but it's a lot. You need so many people see. Now, the argument that marketers in that realm would have is like, well, then they'll go to Google and type you in. But like, you're getting in front of people. Like, the only people who have money for that are like the Walmarts or the big law firms or like, I don't know. And there's a big argument to have that that's not valuable ad spend. So like, if I was to where I am, it's like, I think I need to make those cold calls. Like, I need to redo my LinkedIn. I need to start
for like
making
business to
calls
business,
for business to business, or even maybe boot up Facebook again and start putting stuff out in the community for. I don't know.
Facebook's a good place to get an idea, because it's like I've gone on there and I'd be like, hey, what do you guys think about this? I'm going to make these. I make these in our town, and people are like, I would never pay $65 for that.
Yeah.
And if you get like everybody that says that, it's like maybe lower your price.
Sure.
Or think about what value it's adding.
Yeah.
People will be like, oh, I love that. Some people will be like, hey, send me a link so I can buy this. And it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think one of the most stressful things for me as a business owner is actually not the like lack of ideas or ways to take things. Like, even just talking here, I'm like, wow, there's like 10 different things I could be doing to try to narrow in and drive more sales for different aspects of the business, whether it's like B2B or new products or different platforms. And there's honestly like too many choices. That's where I get overwhelmed.
Well, we were talking about that with like AI earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, what could you have an AI do in your business?
Yeah.
There's so many things in there, and that's why I always like, I'm so jealous of people that are like, I make signs or I make window inserts. It's like, that's all you do. That's easy to market. And it's like, we got all these things, all these avenues to go. And I don't know, maybe I should have picked a niche at the start.
You're kind of moving that way, it seems.
Yeah. But like I said, I've always been okay with our business kind of like, finding its way.
Sure.
It's a little chilly out.
It's a little chilly out. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll cut it off there today. Depending on how well this video does, maybe we'll do something again like this. But I already have like 5 more things to talk about. But we'll hold off for another video. This is Anthony. He runs 3D Prints. He's on YouTube. We'll put his contact stuff in the descriptions. You can check out his YouTube channel. You can check out him. He's also very open to answering questions. I'm tossing him up for this. So go comment on his videos. And then we'll also drop Joe's stuff in here too, down below. But feel free to check it out. And yeah, hope you guys liked it. We're going to go get warm inside because surprisingly, it is a little chilly still. Michigan's doing Michigan things right now.
Warm. It looks warm out.
It looks warm, but it's not warm. Cool, man. Appreciate the time.
Cool. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me come bug you during the day.
Thank you.
He cleared his schedule for me, so.
All of it.
Yeah, appreciate it. All of it. No responsibilities.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Well, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.